And we're live with Restream Audio
Podcast. This summer, Reese brings you her.
Oh, it only blocks Reese. Look at that.
Well, that's not good.
Look at those trimmed leaf curtains.
Like you, well, a well manicured leaf curtain is important.
It's a well sung leaf curtain.
Last week, the wilderness must be explored. This week, the wilderness is an accessory. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Black Tower Podcast, a Wheel of Time podcast. I am one of your hosts, and I am so looking forward to today's episode. My name's Andrew. I'm your Bijan Mahale. Your Mahale of definitely not bullshit. This is another Mahale.
Your Athon Mahale, your glove up for these opinions, Mahale.
You're a nasty. You're a nasty.
Who's out there playing around in the kiddie pool?
I am your Sorovan playing in the kiddie pool. I see what you did. You're nasty. You're nasty. Y'all motherfuckers need the Dragon Reborn. Y'all need the dragon. You need
Every
the
time
dragon.
I see you, my dragon is reborn, sir.
Same.
Oh my. I do
You guys
declare.
noticed it at Jordan Con, Andrew declared his love for me. And, it was cool. I mean, I like him too. It was pretty awesome that he did that. Thanks, bro. Anyway, no, we had a lot of fun at Jordan Con, and then we had to come back to the real world and do real world things. And for those of you who don't know, we are currently in the middle of probably the second largest Wheel of Time fandom campaign ever before conceived. These leaf curtains are trembling.
Yay!
Hashtag renew what? I'm gonna put it in the chat so y'all know. And it is us trying to get Amazon to give us season 4. Season 4 coming through the door because we want more. Don't be a
You
cheap
bloody hole. You thought I'd say it.
And in that vein, we decided it would be appropriate to discuss season 3 of the Wheel of Time. And once again, in that vein, we're talking the wins. The wins. Rafe, we're going to tell you all the things you did right in season 3. Okay? We're going to do it. We're going to break it down. Because we do have criticisms, but we never like to make it just about that. We're not about just the negativity. We like to highlight the good and the things we love, too. And frankly, I think we enjoy talking about things we love more than the things we don't love. I mean, I know I do.
I do it so much that I make things up.
Oh, I gaslight myself into liking shit that I don't even like.
I'm
If I
bet
fucking
this
tell
is what's
myself
gonna
enough
happen.
that I love it, I'll love it.
Wait until you hear what's gonna happen with Loyal. Oh, I've got it.
Smile.
I'm living in the world of delusion, and I love it.
So this is it. This is season 3 wins. What did season 3 get right? Andrew, just don't think, just go. Season 3, win, go. Don't think, you're thinking. Stop thinking.
Huh?
What
Because the first thing to mind is numbers, right?
numbers.
This is the highest rated season of Wheel of Time TV show by far.
Tis.
Whether you look on IMDb or Rotten Apples or what's this other one? RatingGraph.com, it is across the board the highest rated season. There isn't a single episode that falls below an 8.0.
Hell yeah.
In fact, I
That's
think
good.
the lowest rated episode for season 3 is an 8.1, no, 8.2. And that's season 3, episode 2, A Question of Crimson. It also is home to the highest rated episode across the entire TV show, which, of course, my favorite episode. I think it's also Josh's favorite episode. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that it's Reese's favorite episode. But season 3, episode 4, The Road to the Sphere, where we get to see the trip through the glass columns of Ruidian. Oh, we haven't spoiler warning. Ha!
Oh, sorry. I got excited.
Yeah. Everybody, this is going to be a full spoiler episode for the TV show. We're going to try to keep it to just the TV show. There may be a little bit past the TV show. We'll try to give you a heads up if we can remember it clearly. We're already too excited to talk about all the great stuff from season 3. So, if you haven't watched season 3, what the hell are you doing? It's already been done. Like, we've already done the final recap for the Fantasy League. You should have been done by then.
Come
We
on.
give you an extra week
Come
to
on.
finish.
Come on.
You know anybody else that would give you an extra week to finish?
Come on.
I can't even last an extra week to finish, much less like
Come
get
on.
that opportunity. Should be done. But yeah, no. Episode 4 for me blew it out of the park. Was everything I could have hoped it would be and more. And it also comes in at the Wheel of Time's thus far highest ever rated episode with a 9.3 out of 10 on IMDb. It is the first and so far the one and only episode to get a 9.0 rating or higher. Yeah, it to me, episode 4 for season 3 sets the standard and example for everything the Wheel of Time TV show can be. Whenever the stars align, when the executives kind of let the series do what the series needs to do, whenever Rafe and them are able to just take full run and throw everything that we love from the books on the screen and retell it in a fantastic way, a visually striking and appealing way. Yeah, I was glued to my scene, and of course, I was glued to the screen, and of course, I'm a massive fan of Rand. So having a very Rand-heavy episode was just
where he was
like an 85-year-old man taking Viagra for me, man. I was just fucking, I was a glass column. I was watching history.
Oh, wow. I just hit my shin on the table. Thanks for that.
You don't need that shin. You got another.
I got a spare. Reese, knee jerk, initial reaction. Go. What's the one for you? What did it?
The costuming.
Oh, so you like the costuming?
I think that it's just so next level. Like they bring in so many details from the books that you don't even notice until you really look at it, and it's like, oh my gosh, they brought in things that they don't even bring up in the episode, but it's in the clothing. All of these details, and it's just right down to the fin. That whole costume was just phenomenal. Like, that was all practical effects.
Phenomenal.
It actually phenomenal.
That was not what that sound was supposed to be.
But yeah, I feel like that attention to detail there, I really appreciate. I think Robert Jordan would really appreciate all of the detail put into the clothing, because he went into a lot of detail describing it, and I think it's really great that we have a team that puts that same amount of dedication in. It's amazing. Like, everything they put out is just
nice,
really great.
No, I gotta say, my initial just gut reaction, go first, is very much like also very visual, right? Um, the one power got a severe upgrade in visually in season 3, and God, it was so good. It looked amazing. You had the different weaves had begun to take shape. You had the different colors moving into. I mean, and it was just oh, it was glorious. Even in some of the scenes that story wise, I was a little, curious as to why they made some of those decisions. The visual effects, the weaves were just on point every time. Visually as a whole, season 3 looked better than season 1 and 2. And I'm not even saying that season 1 and 2 looked bad necessarily, but season 3, you could definitely see that the scenes and the VFX and the costuming, things like that, all got a major upgrade for season 3, and that was awesome.
I loved seeing the like book accurate Aes Sedai shawls in the flashback to Swan's.
Yeah.
Like when they showed that room, I just got goosebumps because I was like, "Oh my gosh, the shawls! All of the shawls!"
Right.
Like,
well, and it even says, like, in the books, it even talks about how, in the beginning of the story anyway, that like Aes Sedai rarely wore their shawls. Like, it wasn't a thing until the Division and the Tower.
It's
Until the
being
Division
fucking
and the
stupid.
Tower.
It like decided to make me like angelic, warm glow for no fucking
Well,
reason.
you've got that problem, and I've got the problem that my expensive camera doesn't want to work. So, I mean, we're here together. We're here together, Andrew. We're in this together, brother.
half of my leaf curtain is hiding, so we're all suffering. Okay.
We're all suffering.
I will say Andrews is pretty great though.
So to discuss season 3, let's start with episode 1 of season 3, A Race to the Shadow. The description goes, while Swan confronts Liandrin at the White Tower, Moraine, Rand, Mat, Perrin, Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine devise a new plan. Lanfear also tries to seize the reins with a cunning.
He is a cunning linguist.
What was good in this episode? What was good in this
Bruh,
episode?
the cold open, if you can even call it a cold open, I mean, like, it seems
Dude,
like
that was
a
spicy as
disservice.
hell opening.
But one of the things I like to, one amazing striking visuals, like you were talking about earlier with the one power. We finally get a big one power fight. It's this
Yeah, we
really,
do.
really awesome fight that happens in the hall of the tower. But for us book fans that have so long made the joke about some of the prologues for the books being their like the length of their own book in just the prologue. This was a long cold open.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
Yeah.
and I think it's the longest cold open of the season, if not the entire series so far.
Well,
But
and that
I really like the way they did it because they didn't sacrifice the flow of the energy and the action of the cold open to keep it short. They didn't skimp out on it. They let it ride as long as they needed it to get the full scope done, and they let it come to a natural point where it made sense to move from the cold open into the title sequence, or just title screen, really, um, and then into the actual episode. So just it's a fantastic way to start off season 3, especially leaving off where we were in season 2, wondering how are things going to go now that clearly, leaving off of season 2, Nynaeve and Egwene and Elaine and all are completely now free of the Seanchan, and it wasn't displayed but hinted that they were going to go back to the White Tower, or at least one or two of them were. in some way, shape, or form. So I think it was a really good way to kind of start things off by having them go ahead and address, like, is Leandrin going to be held accountable for her actions from the last season, or are they going to do some weird thing to just kind of delay it or almost sweep it under the rug? And I love that Nynaeve was the linchpin in that, of bringing her forward, and Leandrin just being like, "Well,
Shit.
I tried," and it's like,
She really did
I
too.
mean, you kind of did. I mean, but she tried in the same manner as somebody that's like surrounded by like her squad. It's like, I'm gonna try, but also like it's not really life or death necessarily. Like, some of them may die, but in the words of Lord Farquaad, that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Some of you may die. Reese, how about you? How are you feeling about this first episode? What's the
So
good?
I
What's the
really liked
good?
the bubbles of evil, no matter how they ended up being, brought
Mm.
about. I just really, really enjoyed seeing that all on screen. And it also, like, I thought it played on the world of dreams as well, pretty cool, the way they ended up doing it in the episode. So, like, while I realized they weren't bubbles of evil per se, seeing those little cards come to life, that axe flying around, and the shard rands coming out of the mirror, that was just so cool to see those scenes come to life. Like, so I feel like there were so many scenes that really tried to capture like glimpses of the books, and I feel like this one really nailed it, where it's like, I don't care what the context was in the show. Like, without any other context, if you just put this on the screen, I'd be like, "Bubbles of evil! This is awesome!" Like,
Yes.
I thought it was really cool.
Nice. I liked the cold open as well. And I gotta say, I liked, Andrew, that what you had mentioned about the show, about it being a longer cold open. I noticed this season we've got the longest episodes that we've gotten so far, right? And
Mm.
it's almost like we need more airtime for this damn show. Like, 8 episodes at 50 minutes an episode is not enough per season. Please, for the love of the light, give more. Like, you're already doing a weekly release. Why can't you do a 2-hour episode? Why not? Make it a fucking movie every week. I don't care. I don't know what you got to do to make that happen. I'm not in the business. So I'm definitely talking in ignorance and talking out of my ass right now. But give each season more. Give the showrunners more time to flesh out the story because, we need it. Um, the fight with the one power, there was one scene in particular that I absolutely loved, and that's when the two Black Aja sisters shielded Swan. And she was like, and she's busting through. And they were like, hold her, she's bursting through. And at one point in time, Swan reaches and grabs the threads and rips them apart and like rips them off her to unshield, to break their shield. Oh, are you kidding me? That was like the single coolest thing I've seen on television. That scene will live in my head rent free forever. I that just It's the white shield with the white threads, and as she rips it, it like flares up in this like yellow red right at the, and I just, oh my god, it was so good. That it was so it was beautiful. It was amazing. Um, and then of course you had Alana's fight, which was a little strange, but we're going with the good right now. So what I'm going to say is that I liked seeing Alana and her warders work so well together. Like, the choreography there was really, really good. And it does something that I mentioned in season 2 that I like. The TV show makes warders effective combatants against Aes Sedai. And in season
Mhm.
2, they made the White Cloaks effective combatants against the Aes Sedai, which adds to the story. It gives us more to the story. And I
What was
really like that, because you had some physicality in that scene that required not only Alana and the Stepan and was it
I mean, Maxim and Ivan?
Maxim and why am I saying Stepan and I'm way off right now. Hold on.
I mean, to be fair, the last time we saw Stepan, that double axe slash would have been badass if it was, against anyone that,
Yeah.
didn't use magic.
But Maxim and
Gosh, that
Ivan.
was like a whole 2 seasons ago. Get
I
with the
know, right?
program.
Seriously. Thanks for having me as a guest on your show. I appreciate it.
You're stepping on my heart right now, Josh. Thank you.
Bro, I love how somewhere in that laugh there's just one dude going.
But I'm not gonna lie. At one point in time, I thought that was a recording, like a laugh track from Jordan Con or something, and that was me. No, but that was fantabulous. It was absolutely amazing, and I loved that opening and the just the upgrades visually and the upgrades in the choreography. That was mwah. It was glorious, absolutely.
The
glorious.
reveal of the Greymen was pretty awesome. Like the Greymen look great.
Yeah.
And I also didn't realize this until kind of just now. The guy at the end that Moghedien like mouth fingers, and turns into a Greyman was a captive White Cloak. Did you guys notice that?
Not just any captive White Cloak. Do you know who it is?
Jachim
Carradine.
Oh, is that Carradine?
Yeah, that's Carradine.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
The man called Bors.
The man called. I can't say.
Who called himself Bors. Right, Bors, go and chop his
I
head
feel like
off.
I would have known more of this if I actually rewatched the entire season before we did this episode.
Well,
I will say this: Moghedien.
I'm going to definitely rewatch it before next week's episode.
Moghedien absolutely slayed in every single scene she was in.
She's like
Moghedien was perfect.
She's a really good mix between like creepy, nerdy, like she's like a horror movie librarian.
Yes.
Yeah, she's so sinister. She's just like, oh, you want to watch her be creepy, man. Like I can't wait to see more of her and Nynaeve against one another.
All right, shall we move to episode 2?
Episode part 2.
So, do you want to trade off on like who reads like a synopsis of the episode from wherever we choose to read it from?
Yeah.
Sweet. So I'll do this one.
Okay.
That also gives Reese plenty of time to find an allowable synopsis for episode 3, too.
Yeah, get on
it. Episode 2, A Question of Crimson. So this one was directed by Ciaran Donnelly and written by Catherine McKenna.
Oh, I guess I could have read off all that information too, huh?
Yeah, this just happens to be on here. Episode 1 was directed by the same director, but was written by Justine Gilmer. Yeah, making sure I wasn't blind. So episode 2, Question of Crimson. In a flashback, Morghese Trakan, who is Elaine's mother, ruthlessly wins a succession war and ascends to the throne of Andor. Then in the present, she arrives at the White Tower, furious over Elaine's abduction and determined to take her home. Elaine, supported by Lord Jabril, Morghese's consort, persuades Morghese otherwise. Morghese leaves behind her sons, Galad and Gawain, as well as her advisor Elaida, a red Aja with a strong rivalry with Suan, at the tower. Rand, Moraine, Lan, Egwene, and Aviendha travel to the Aiel Waste, while both Egwene and Rand's dreams are constantly invaded by Lanfear. Egwene's nightmares lead her to a dream of Bear, an Aiel Wise One, before the group encounters Bear and her clan, the Tardad, at the outskirts of the Waste. Then, in the Two Rivers, Perrin, Loyal, Bane, and Chiad learn that the land is plagued by Trolloc attacks, and White Cloaks, while hunting the monsters, occupy the Two Rivers. The group also meets Alana and Maxim, who, mourning Ivan's death, have sought refuge in the village. Back at the White Tower, Matt struggles with his past life memories and learns the Aes Sedai cannot heal him. He also reconnects with Min, who now serves as Suon's spy in the tower. Da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Reese, you want to tackle that one first?
No.
So, well, let's start with the succession. All right, in the books, Morghese was absolutely revealed as someone that could be ruthless when necessary, would do what was needed for the safety of Caemlyn and Andor, had no problem exercising her might. She was a little more kind in the books than she is in the TV show. Morghese Strachan exiled her political opponents in the books, and basically like talked with them and was like, "We've got to do something to break this secession after secession war after secession war after secession war. Let's do this." And it was like nobody really liked the solution, but everybody kind of went along with it because, well, most of the exiles were like, if we don't go along with it, we probably will die one way or another.
Right.
But in the TV show, Morghese is like, I will absolve you all of your crimes against me in the secession war. All will be forgiven if you just kneel and swear to me. And all the houses kneel and swear to her. And there's like one or two that give like a very snide kind of swearing. And then she puts on the crown of Andor, the lion crown, or no, the rose crown for the lion throne, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rose crown,
And then she's like, yeah. And then she's like, cool, I've got the crown. All of the successors, all the people that fought me in the Secession War, fucking, and has them all killed, like immediately right there in the throne room. Which I lovated. I loved and hated it. Like, I loved it because like it's entirely Morghese. It's something that Morghese would absolutely do if she had to do in the books. But it's not something that Morghese had to do in the books. I mean, again, this isn't the books. This is an adaptation, and I'm more so for a TV adaptation. I think it worked very well. I think it fit very well, and I think it in a very short amount of time shows the viewer just how steadfast and strong Morghese as Queen of Andor can be and often is.
All right.
I mean, it was the first time, and you know what's the age old saying that we learned from Canada? It's never a war crime the first time. Technically, at this point, the war was over, so technically, she just, in her mind, I'm sure, just executed traitors and seditionists.
Well, she straight up says, "I don't want this to become a thing in the future." So bye bye.
Yeah.
I'll say this. One of the things I really loved about episode 2 was the introduction of Lord Gerbil. The oh my god, the
Lord Gerbil, you better watch your butthole.
Lord Gerbil. Armageddon.
All I can think of now is like the South Park episodes where they had the fucking gerbil.
Yeah.
And
Let me.
what's his dude's little subservient guy? Nominated.
Mr. Slave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh heavens. Oh Jesus.
No,
Jesus Christ.
like Lord
Yeah, that's
Gabriel
it.
would walk into a room, and every single time they did it so well that you had to go back.
I find your lack of faith to the to the lion disturbing.
You have to go back and watch it. But every single time someone new is introduced to Lord Gabriel, they're like, who the fuck is this guy? Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, Lord Gabriel, how are you? Even Elaine walks in and she's like, who are you? Like, what's going on?
Hey, man,
And then it's like, oh my
he's
God.
a little Rizzler.
What's up, Gabriel? How you doing, honey? Let's get some wine up in us. Like,
He's a little Rizzler, man.
dude has
I don't know if you want to call that
charisma-
Riz, but
Dude has a charisma stat so high he doesn't even have to roll. Like, His passive charisma check is a nat
Is a
20.
nat 20.
Like that shit
Bruh.
is on lock. He's got that shit handled.
So is he the
And-
Dream Bard build? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Which is weird because
Like-
that's supposed to be Asmodean, but whatever.
I mean, but also like
they do
you know,
talk.
this is also the guy that would definitely run around trying to seduce the dragon.
Well, yeah, right. And they do talk about Lord Gabriel / Robin, who we find out later on that he's Robin, one of the Forsaken, is always he's down to dandle a queen upon his knee because he has rich appetites. But no, but that
and he's a
that
disgusting
detail,
scumbag.
That's
They keep
yeah,
that
basically.
part of him.
Yeah. But
It's a little watered down compared to what it was in the books for him right now. At least through season 3. It's not far off the mark as it is in the books, but I think it's watered down and more palatable for a modern audience
right.
than it would be in the books.
And then so you've got this scenario where his introduction is just so beautifully coordinated, where you've got him walking into the White Tower completely unafraid, book accurate, and immediately casting weaves of compulsion on like entire rooms of people. And sorry about that. That was me.
Which again, such a nice contrast between the current Aes Sedai.
Yes. And it was beautifully laid out. It was beautifully set up, and I loved it. I really did. I went back and watched the episode like 2 or 3 times to see if I could see were there weaves hidden anywhere. There were not, which again is still book accurate because the Forsaken know how to invert their weaves, which makes them invisible to everyone who is not
I was
them.
inverted.
Bullshit. Yeah, so that's my standout for episode 2. Just glorious.
Well, I guess I hate to say it again, but I really liked I liked the costuming for Morghese and that entire like royal court of Andor, including Elida. Like they were just so I feel like it's a really hard thing right now. There's so many different fantasy shows out there that they have to do something to differentiate. And boy, did she just look otherworldly, and she looked both classical and like futuristic at the same time, which is very Wheel of Time. And I just love how they were able to capture that and make it fit into the story. I also really liked the dynamic between Siuan and Morghese.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Walks in like the big dick swinging in the locker room, and then gets in private, and they're both like, "This isn't fun, but we have to put on this show. Like, if you don't act like the queen of the world, and I don't act like the fucking master or mistress of the world, whatever you want to call it, like everybody's gonna think we're full of shit." But I also think it says a lot about the power of the Aes Sedai. Like, because think about it, during like let's say even like 5, 6, 1,000 years ago, as we know the world, a modern world ruler would likely never have just walked up to the White Tower and said, "I can have my army here like tomorrow,
Right.
and wreck your shit," because the Aes Sedai were far too powerful for that. They'd be like, I mean,
Try
if you
it.
want to throw away lives for no fucking reason, go for it.
If you're feeling
But now,
froggy,
like,
jump.
yeah, but now it adds so much credence too to harkening back to Logain's taunting of Siuan from season 1. You know, like 500 years ago, no one would ever dream of challenging the White Tower. Yet look at how far I brought an army to challenge your power, and here I am. And it seems like grandstanding from him in season 1, and it is, because also he just wants them to kill him at this point. But
Right.
now, like, Morghese is like, I'll just lead the armies of Andor here, and I'll just take over Tar Valon because you can't keep my daughter safe. and you can tell, like, even though they're playing a game, Suwon is also legitimately concerned about that prospect happening. She's like,
Hmm.
we may not actually win that because Andor's got like the military right now.
Yeah, it's like a very like delicate balance those two have. Even in private, when they put their guard down a bit, there's still an edge about them. Neither one of them is someone to go fully off guard, especially against such a, like worthy adversary. They know their opponents. They're both smart women. They're not gonna totally relax around Suwan or Morgase. Nobody's gonna relax around them.
Nobody's
Stand
smart
aside,
enough
worthy
to do anything.
adversary.
Also, just for added, giggles and whatnot, the costuming director Sharon Gillam is going to be at WatCon this year. So, for all of those of you who are thinking about going to WatCon, if you want to meet the genius behind the absolutely outrageous, over the top, amazing costuming in the show, maybe you come to WatCon. Also, that was me throwing a little bit more shade at Reese. It's okay.
Okay, but
You keep throwing shade, but all I'm doing is relaxing in the summer.
Ayo.
Oh.
this
Um.
building's a tinderbox. And
I did love your ex when I was like throw shade and you were like, it is dangerous to throw things at illuminators, yes?
yeah, it's brave to throw anything at an illuminator.
True.
Throw back.
True dat. Race. Want to introduce? There you go. Two Geeks, One Mike says there'll be a Reese stand in. They might look a little silly with all those braids in their hair.
I'll send
And
you
that
the wigs
corset.
I bought and haven't worn.
And
It'll
that
be great.
corset, you might not fit, but we can give
I
it a
don't
shot.
fit it. It's great. You'll be fine.
Nobody fits in a corset. Like, it's okay.
All
Well,
right.
everyone fits
Well,
eventually.
eventually, yeah. That's the secret of a corset. Yeah.
That's my secret cap. I'm always too fat for this thing.
Mm-hmm. If it fits, it ships. Anyways, episode 3 is Seeds of the Shadow. This one was directed by Thomas Snapper and written by, oh boy.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Excuse me, Beverly. It was written by Beverly. Oh. Anyways, Lanfear
I really know.
meets her fellow Forsaken, Samael and Ravin, the latter Lord Gerbil in disguise, to discuss a potential alliance. Unbeknownst to them, Ravin is already in league with Moghedien. At the White Tower, Matt faces off against Galad and Gawain in a duel, besting both princes with simple quarterstaff. Swan talks Nynaeve and Elaine into being the Wonder Twins to hunt the Black Aja. They fail to interrogate two captured Black Sisters, but do discover a clue to Leandrin's whereabouts, her history with the city of Tanchico, and an artifact stolen from the tower, similar to the Shanshan's Adam. Nynaeve and Elaine set off to Tanchico with Matt, secretly followed by Min. Elida tries to secure power for herself in the White Tower. Meanwhile, in the Aiel Waste, Rand's group journeys to Viridian, an ancient city where Rand is prophesied to prove himself as the leader of the Aiel. In the Two Rivers, Perrin assumes leadership as the White Cloaks, led by Dane Bornheld and Eamon Valda, look to arrest him for killing Dane's father in Felm. He also befriends Fail Bashir, who, along with Lord Luke, arrives at the village looking for the Horn of Valir. Leandrin and her group arrive in Tanchico looking fabulous, planning to assemble an artifact intended to enslave male channelers, which they plan to use on Rand, while Moghedien poses as their humble servant. A lot going on in this episode.
This is your humble servant.
There's a lot of like Leandrin trauma revealing and unpacking in this episode. Because their arrival in Tanchico isn't like we just see them walking into like this bustling city. It's they barge into this horrendous child marriage wedding, and Leandrin just goes, "Hell nah," and fucking starts murking people, and looks at the rest of her entourage as like, "I killed the disgusting groom to be that was gonna marry this child. Y'all deal with the rest of the party." And then she goes and is talking to the kid, and you're like, why does she have such a connection with this? Why does she feel so strongly about this? And it's revealed that it's like, yeah, this isn't too far off from what happened to her. And kind of like the whole reason why she actually wound up having a son.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we'll get into later episodes, becomes like a sore point for her that I think she does a lot of I think she drinks a lot of copium later on and tries to like blame it as a weakness kind of thing. But you know, that is I mean, it's a legitimate trauma response. People trying to like rationalize bad things that happened as something good that should have happened earlier. For them, it's a weird trauma response, but it happens all the time. It's almost like overcompensating, like, oh, it wasn't actually that bad. Actually, I wish it happened sooner because then I would have been free sooner. And it's like, you're fucking miserable, all right? Your hair is progressively getting less and less and less kempt, all right? That is TV show 101 for you're losing your fucking marbles. All right? I've seen enough anime to know we're about to get a fucking forehead down angle at you as you go to do some wacky shit, all right?
Your pupils are going to start looking weird.
Yeah. But I do like how we get more of an explanation into Leandrin's backstory, some explanations kind of as to why she holds a desire and why Tanchico. Yeah, that's the angle right there. There we go, Josh. Yeah, I've seen that angle before.
That's the one. I was just demonstrating, you know.
Yeah. But I kind of liked it. I think it was a good way to introduce them to Tanchico. It keeps the theme of the Black Aja on track, and it starts giving us more of a look into Leandrin and maybe why Leandrin is a lot of the way she is, which I do like. I think is a better change from the books, because in the books we don't get a whole lot of motivation behind Leandrin other than the quintessential "I want power" kind of thing. There's not really a ton of motivation behind her doing the things she does in the books. Here, there's actually like a bit of history to it and a bit of explanation as to why she has some of the issues that she has. So I really like that, and I think that was probably one of my... Yeah, actually, I think that was probably like my most... I don't want to say enjoyable, because just given what the scene was, it seems a little fucked up to say, but I think it was the part of the episode that I enjoyed the most for what it did for the story.
Yeah, I do enjoy the depth that they're giving some characters that lacked it in the books. I think they're making a lot of the Dark Friends kind of, more multi-dimensional, rather than just like, I want power, I want this. It's like, I want
you evil?
this horrible thing, and I just want it to stop. And it's like, well, I can't.
Why are you evil? I want power. Why are you evil? I want more power. Why are you evil? Because they all made fun of me, and I want more power.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. For once, I just want to meet. I feel like Deadpool, like when what's his name, Shatterstar shows up in Deadpool 2. Like,
for once, I just...
He's like, I just want to come across a planet of people that are worse than me at everything.
Yeah, a planet of functional idiots.
Yeah.
I'd be their Jesus or whatever he says. I'd be
Yeah.
their Superman.
Yeah. Isn't that just Canada? You shut your goddamn mouth. But yeah, I mean, but it would make no sense. Like nobody's gonna be like, why did you go over to the shadow? Like, oh well, I like losing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
For me, the
and I like
standout-
the intro of Fayo. Like
Yeah.
finally I like Fayo.
Yeah.
Finally.
I thought
the
she
show. Sorry, go ahead, Reese.
No, I was just gonna agree. She's great in the show.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go to. The
And
show
that
has
accent.
done a very good job of making Fail a very likable character. Which, I mean, this is not. I'm not being a fail apologist right now. Okay,
I said that
but
to
I
you
am
once.
saying
Let it go.
that if she was more like the books, I would find her so annoying. But she's not. They've done, as we've talked about, given her some depth as a character, and they've given her and
She has
Perrin
matured.
a believable love story, right? Because in the books, she runs across them and she's like, "I'm going to follow you because you guys are weird, and I know where the Horn of Valir is going to be with the weird story." And it's like, I mean, okay,
Which
it makes
still would
sense.
track for this Fayo. It's definitely something this Fayo would do.
It's you're not wrong. But in this version of that, she's already in the Two Rivers, which, okay, it's a group of hero hunters for the horn. Okay. And she meets Perrin and she's immediately sort of like attracted to him. Wow, he cute. Like, need to give me some of that wolf boy, wolf man. And I get it, and and again, I'm a more visual person, so it's a more visual way to do it. It's done extremely well, and it's extremely believable, and they even have a fun little like bantery little relationship. It's great. I
Mhm.
love it.
And they kept the
Um,
Mandarb joke. That's the important
they
thing.
did.
They
They
really-
did. And that's where I'm going with that. It seems real. It seems like oddly enough, the dynamic between them is so sort of natural. It's crazy. It's great. Um, Matt though is to me the standout in this episode. They're on a boat in this whole scene, right, where he's laying in the hammock, annoyed as hell. Nynaeve's in the corner, barfing her freaking intestines up, and Elaine is over there being like the prat snoot that she is. I'm sorry, I don't like Elaine. And she's like,
What?
Tanchico has two hills with very large nipples and areolas at the top of them, and the rich people live upon the rich live upon the nips, and the poor people live in the crevasse. And Matt is like, this is so annoying. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Could you please shut up? Matt is hilarious and continues to be one of my favorite things about season 3. Donal Finn, I know you're a huge fan of the Black Tower, and I appreciate that. I know you're watching right now. I'm not saying this because I also find you like really attractive, because but I will say that I am saying this also because Matt in season 3, quippy. He
So-
is like sharp witted, quick witted. Like his whole thing against Gawain and Galad, oh, so good. And Galad is over there like, I don't believe the lady wants to talk to you. And his whole response of, mate, take a day off.
Can you stop white knighting
It's
for
so
5
good.
fucking seconds?
It's
I loved
so good. I
This is the same
love
season
it
where, like,
so much.
in episode 1, he makes the joke about the White Tower looking like a massive dick. Like at the end, he's like, anybody else realize it looks like a big?
And they're all like, Matt. He's perfect.
Great.
He
But
is
no, that
Matt.
I think that
He is
that
Matt.
actually might take the cake for my favorite moment from it's is it no, it's not episode 3. Is it episode 3? No. Yeah, it is. Yeah. No. That as far as like just part of the TV show, I think that is my favorite part when Matt finally has enough and is like, "You can keep white knighting. She's still not gonna fuck you.
Right?
Fuck off. Like we're childhood friends. We know each other. Fuck off. God."
Take the day off. And if you want,
Because like there is not there is not a fine line between like trying to stand up for somebody and interject and everything and being this kind of white knighty
Yes.
fucking self martyr holier than thou asshole. It's not a fine line. There's a very wide border between the two. It's very clear when you switch from being a good person to just white knighting. And if you're a fucking white knight and if you don't know what a white knight is, you probably are a fucking white knight and go fucking drown. I don't like in game, obviously not in real life because I would never
in game.
tell anybody to do that. In game, just go play Minecraft, jump in the ocean, swim to the bottom, and stay there in Minecraft for the rest of your life. Oh God, I can't fucking stand people like this. Like,
But dude, he was so perfect. Like it flowed so beautifully. The dialogue and the scene and the energy, everything flowed beautifully. And just take the day off. I'm so sick of you. And then he just proceeds to absolutely waylay them. And it was beautiful. The only thing that scene was missing, the only thing that makes it not perfect, is that it was not in front of a crowd. I wish
Thank you.
it was in front of a crowd.
Thank
That
you.
is the only thing that could have made that scene better.
And I know this is the good things of the episode. So
Yes.
I don't want to get into it too much, but I feel like even for Matt, like Matt's somebody who's frequently not believed.
Yeah.
So it's good for him to have that
To have
audience.
a win.
And so it's like this is one that it's like he doesn't have the backup to like prove it. Like I feel
It's
like
just
he's gonna have to have another. He's
It's
gonna have
naive.
to have a rematch. I feel like he needs a rematch.
Oh yeah.
could you
Oh,
imagine
yeah.
that conversation? Matt being like, "Elaine, I beat the shit out of your brothers. They're not anything special." And Elaine's like, "Whatever. They're the best. There's no way you, like some backwoods hick from Two Rivers, could beat them." And Nynaeve's like, "No, like
Well, doesn't he call
fucking
himself
whack
just
the shit
Fritz
out of them."
at
Huh?
one point?
Hmm?
He calls himself when they're practicing in the yard. He comes out and he's like, "Who are these? It's a couple princes or whatever." And he's like, "Oh, a couple of self-righteous pricks or whatever it was that he called them."
He doesn't initially engage with them at all until like they start
Yeah.
intervening with his conversation with Nynaeve.
But he has his general disdain for nobility still.
Mhm.
And he's just like,
Yeah.
whatever. And then like they're like, "Oh, it's Elaine's brothers." He's like, "Oh yeah, cool. Like whatever. I don't care."
Okay, even less reason for me to like you because Elaine's already kind of pissing me off.
Yeah. All right. Episode
Red hair
4.
and a hand-me-down noble title. You must be a Drakond.
You must be a Tracond. All right. Episode 4, Road to the Sphere.
You get the synopsis for my favorite episode.
Directed by Thomas Napper and written by our very own RJ2, Rafe Judkins.
R2J2.
R2J2. On the group's way to Ruidian, Aiel Wise One suggests that Moraine enter the city alongside Rand and take a trial that Wise Ones undergo. They also reveal that Avienda, as a potential Wise One, must do the same. Avienda reluctantly accepts her tasks, leaves, and ultimately passes her trial. Upon entering Ruidian, Moraine discovers Sikarnan, the female counterpart to Kalendor, and begins the trial, during which she experiences multiple alternate futures where either she or Rand dies. During Rand's trial, he relives the lives of his ancestors. Learning the history of the Aiel, during the Age of Legends, they were servants of the Aes Sedai who were sworn to pacifism and were sent to find a place of safety to protect Sikarnan after the breaking of the world, but eventually broke their oaths, splitting up and becoming the warrior nation they are today. In the most distant memory, Rand sees Lanfear, an Aes Sedai scientist, as she drills a bore through reality, giving the Dark One access to the world. Rand passes the trial, receiving 2 dragon tattoos that mark him as the leader of the Aiel, and carries a half-conscious Moraine out of Ruidian. Look, I have zero bad to say about this episode. Zero. Like,
It was
I
so
have a couple of like, huh? What? What happened? I don't know. Weird. It's a little bit reachy. Nothing bad. Zero complaints. This fucking episode is what I have wanted from a Wheel of Time adaptation the entire time. And some people out there are going to be like, well, Josh, you said you didn't want a page by page recreation. Correct, I do not. Well, Josh, episode 4 is a page by page. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. There are 2 visions that are not in the TV show that are in the books that Rand experiences. There are the Sikarnan is not in Ruidian, right? Like, this is
Scarden,
a
yeah,
pure
yeah.
and true adaptation from the source material. Episode 4, perfection. Absolute perfection. I loved it. I loved everything about it. It was amazing. It was wonderful, spectacular, phenomenal, bravissimo.
It was one of those episodes that I was like, I was tired after watching it because I was literally
Yeah.
on the edge of my seat, like tensed up the entire time. I had chills watching it. My eyes were watering. The sprinklers on in the house again. It was so weird. Like it
It's
was
crazy. That indoor rain is a pain in the
yeah,
ass.
it's so weird. I hate it. Anyway, but yeah, it was. It was so even better than I could have imagined it. You know, like you picture it as you're reading, or you know, some of us can, if you can picture it as you're reading. Um, you know, you have that idea of what it might look like, and to actually see it there, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's so far beyond what I had envisioned. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like it's so much better than I figured. Wow. Like
Yeah.
so good.
Like, Yosha could not have done a better job
Right.
acting out the struggle of marching forward through the glass columns. Like, that was what really stood out to me. Because, like, in the books, like, it's kind of portrayed as a struggle, but it's not portrayed like it's that much of a struggle necessarily that I recall. Like, it's easier for Rand in the books because he hasn't grown up with with the like IL tradition of honor. We've always been warriors, you know, everything that makes everything so hard for the IL to accept what he sees. Um and I love how the TV show has still made it an actual trial that Rand has to struggle and push through this. And I love that they kept the returns to reality more than just showing Rand struggling to march forward,
Right.
but how just like in the books, we would get back to the actual vision of the glass columns and Rand progressively getting closer and closer to Muladin and then walking past Muladin and then
Yeah.
eventually near the end looking back and seeing Muladin collapse,
Yeah.
basically.
Mhm.
Which I love, and
I agree.
I think that this is as close as you can get to an adaptation mixing with an almost page for page remake. I mean, it's not like you said earlier. It's not a page for page remake. We've seen what that looks like. It doesn't go well. It won't go well.
Especially not with a story this
Yeah.
layered, colorful,
Yeah.
and rich.
But in between the writing and directing, Rafe and Thomas were able to take all of the core important elements of Rand's trip through the glass columns and Moraine's trips through the ring Terran and give us the striking visuals we needed to understand how much of a struggle and how important and impactful it was. What I really loved was the stark difference between the kind of spinning shot dynamic that they used here versus episode 8 of season 1. The revolving camera in episode 8, season 1, with Rand fighting Ishmael, I was just like, this is campy.
Yeah.
I don't like it. This sucks. I didn't
It was a
like the way it
strange
was done.
choice.
But the way they did it with Moraine's visions of just vision after vision after vision of her dying
Yeah.
or Rand dying or Lanfear killing her, and especially ending it with it, vision after vision after vision after vision of Lanfear killing her, and so many of them being in the waste
Yeah.
was so good. And I think it also encompassed that the quintessential thing that we love about Robert Jordan's writing in The Wheel of Time, and you really don't know it and you can't appreciate it as much until you do a reread of the foreshadowings that you get in early books for later events. And so the visions we get to see of Lanfear killing Moraine in the waste is such a foreshadowing for the fact that they're going to fight in the waste. Which of course, we get far later on and we'll cover later. But just the way it was done, I think was just.
Plus,
This was this was the perfect kind of visual medium or visual sequencing to use that kind of revolving, rotating camera thing to change scene to scene to scene.
I think
And
especially
I think it works so
given,
much better.
the rings that they're into,
Mm.
given when they're like from the outside, they are suspended and motionless.
Yeah.
But inside, it's like they're flipping so fast that it almost gives the appearance that maybe they're not motionless.
Mm.
Like maybe it's like that so fast that it looks still to
Ooh.
us, but like they're just
Like you're
flickering
talking
out
about
of
like the
existence.
frame rate thing.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I think
Plus
that's
the
interesting.
visions gave us Goth Mommy Nynaeve, so
Ugh.
That's true.
Another whole set of costumes if you follow the Instagram. Like there's one where Egwene is the keeper of the chronicles, and she
yes.
has an amazing outfit. Like all of these that you just see for like a few seconds on screen, but these are fully fleshed out visuals.
So that's awesome for a costume designer, right? Though, because you can have all of these ideas for the way costumes would look for
Yes.
different characters in different positions, and they're like, here's all the costumes we're gonna need. We're gonna need Darth Egwene. We're gonna need Keeper Egwene. We're gonna need fucking
Yes.
Amerlin Egwene. We're gonna need Amerlin Moraine. We're gonna need peasant short hair Moraine. Like
Sharon
It's like-
Sharon was busy. Like
Yeah.
she was busy. And
Yeah.
and she ate this season, okay?
Okay.
Like it was a whole ass buffet. Like
a
get it,
whole
girl.
ass buffet.
a whole ass buffet. That's what I said.
All the fart box you can tongue punch.
Oh shit. Well,
But
you
no,
know
like
what? Here's
this,
the thing.
this was incredible.
We covered
And I love it.
episodes 1 through 4 tonight, and we talked about the things we really, really loved about each episode. And here's the thing: we want to discuss the things we loved about each episode. We don't want to gloss over any of this. We want to be real in depth with this. So what we're
Yeah.
going to do is, I think we're going to.
I even decided to use my Talk Around Riyadh mug tonight.
Oh snap! You should go watch Talk Around Riyadh because they're pretty awesome. I don't know if you knew that or not, but you know now, and they're awesome. So go watch them. But yeah, final thoughts on the first 4 episodes. Like we were saying, there are some major upgrades in season 3 so far, and I'm loving them. I'm in love with them. It's awesome, and this is great. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this as part 1. Part 2 is gonna come out next week, where we're gonna cover 5 through 8 things that we loved about season 3, things that season 3 did well, and then it's gonna be time for us to offer our other sides the week after that. So
It's time for us to get canceled the week after that.
time for us to get canceled. Don't worry about the rest.
Gloves are coming off next.
That's oh, and that's not safe. That's right. Let's do this. What's this button do?
What does this button do?
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Reese when
Thank
she
you,
sees
everyone, for
Dommy
being
Mommy
here.
Naive.
Thanks for listening. Hey, comment below what you loved about season 3 of The Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime. Jeff
Final thoughts.
B. So, did we do good? Can we get that 8th yacht now, or what?
Can you release our check, please? Our yachts
I
need
know.
more gas.
That's just me getting ahead of the whole. You guys are just Amazon shills, because we are totally.
I'll just settle for free, commercial free upgrade. I'll take that.
It's true. We do have
Oh yeah,
Reese on the show now.
if you could honor the original deal for streaming, that'd be great.
Thus, the agreement is made. Final thoughts. Episodes 1 through 4. I'm going to focus in on episode 4 because it's to me the greatest episode in the series. Of all the episodes, if we were doing an episode ranking party, that would be number 1 in a class of its own. Absolutely amazing. Love it. Beautiful. Amazing. Wonderful. Full send. Yes.
All of the rating sites would agree with you, giving it a 9.3 out of 10.
Damn, that's just amazing.
I love all of the visual upgrades. I love the costuming. I do love the weaves as well. I loved seeing those battle weaves. The air saws were just phenomenal. Oh my gosh, it was like, there they are.
Cut your bitch ass in half with some air.
Fucking Bubba Gumps and I.
No, I was going for Sling Blade. I killed her with an air sling blade.
I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no side air in it.
Ain't got no air in it.
What's wrong with the omelet? I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no head on her.
Too soon.
Too soon.
Oh man. It's been like thousands of years. What do you mean too soon? This is ancient history.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Thank you for conducting yourselves
Okay, that's cool.
in an orderly fashion while receiving your weekly dose of taint. I have been Josh, your Sorovan Mahale, and we hope that wherever you are, you leave here just a little bit more insane than you were when you first got here.
Probable. I've been Reese, your Aethon Mahale.
And I've been Andrew, your I don't get final thoughts, Mahale. Have a fantastic evening. Thank you all for listening. And
Sorry.
we'll talk to you
That's
Just cut 'em off right
next
now.
week. No, fuck you, Josh. That's fine. You stole mine anyway. You dick.
I gave our final thoughts, okay?
Oh, okay.
We're a couple. I don't know if you knew this or not. After Jordan Con, we're a couple, okay? You gave me this.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my
Did
goodness.
this mean nothing to you?
I didn't know. It was
No, it meant quite a lot. I just didn't realize you were going to order all of my dinners for me moving forward. I'll have the filet mignon, and she'll have a glass of water and 3 grape tomatoes. We love you all, and we'll see you all again next week whenever we tackle the last 4 episodes of season 3, which is definitely by far the best season because it's got a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. You know how much I love those numbers. Go and give it better numbers. Go and rate it high so that maybe we get a season 4. Go and look out the Renew Watts Show campaign on Twitter, X, Blue Sky, YouPorn, Pornhub, RedTube,
your Wheel of Time content.
Redbubble.
We're there.
I don't know if it's made it to those sites yet, but you can make it happen. Anyway, we love you. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
You've been waiting for this moment, for this feeling to grow.